Hello, friends. This is John Klein III with episode 73 of Shadow and Flame with Magic, the podcast. And today we're back to Inferno with the New Mutants 73. So let's get to it. And once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. Appreciate it and you. And this is a very fine version of the comic, though I couldn't tell anything wrong with it, but who am I to judge? So this is Inferno, the New Mutants, the stunning conclusion of the Illyana saga. Illyana trademarked, TM. It would have cost you $1.50, $200 cans, and 50 pence. It is comic book code approved. And it is double-sized spectacular, which probably would explain why it took a little bit to read. Nasir is in the upper left corner. Very red, very techno-infused, techno-organic virus. And then the bottom left is Spider-Man. And the cover is Colossus holding Illyana, she's all red here, but it should be her silver armor, but maybe they didn't want Silver Guy holding Silver Gal. With the New Mutants and the Exterminators standing behind him, but that really consists of Richter, Cannonball, Boom Boom, Sunfire, and Rain. This comic came out in March 1989. It is called The Gift, which is fun as the X-Men Alpha Flight issues we just reviewed were also called The Gift, or I think The Gift did. So, just fun seeing how that relates, as that shouldn't have lined up that way. The writer is Louise Simonson, penciler Brett Blevin, inkers Al Williamson and Mike Manley, letterer Joe Rosen, colorist Glennis Oliver, editor Bob Harris, Tom DeFago, editor-in-chief. Illyana was once a beautiful gift to the world, filled with the promise of perfection that was when she was young, before she fell into the demonic dimension called Limbo. And this is, well, I guess the cover already says it, but it's the conclusion of the Illyana saga that will define the character until X-Men, I don't know, is it X-Men 30? No, because that's Jean and Scott's wedding. I know it's early in X-Men. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's Uncanny X-Men 303. I know that number. Also, I was like, why don't I know this number? But it's because I went in the wrong comic book. There she was, raised by the sorcerers and demons. She survived. She learned to traded a bright piece of her soul to the darkness for power. She became Limbo's mistress and escaped back to her own world, but Limbo rebelled and followed her home. And it's a splash page of Sim standing on top of Illyana, which is just an irritating image as he's abused her since she was 6. And so now he's back here just abusing her some more. And so standing on her back, and then his other arm is reaching for her soul sword. And he's saying, armor protects you from Sim's transmode virus, Dark Child, but you reject your dark heritage. You refuse to be the Dark Child in more than name and form. Good, that makes it easy for Sim to destroy you. Destroy me, Sim? Now a proud voice whispers, if you can no longer be perfect in beauty and goodness, why not be perfect in evil? Without the dark power, you are nothing, an empty shell, a vacuum that which nature abhors. You haven't brought Limbo to a corner of Earth. You could do so much more. With it, you are the Dark Child. Your existence has meaning. Already you have done much. So far, she has fought off the nightmare whispering. She is fighting them still, but she is losing. Demon, you make me laugh. You tortured me when I was small and helpless, Sim. I'm not small any longer. And I have more than enough power already to destroy you. So she throws her... Pretty much she stands up and then he falls over. And then she just starts swinging her soul sword at him, and then cuts him right down the middle. All of his pieces scatter, and his head hits the ground. And then he just reforms his whole body plus clothing. Sim didn't kill you when you were small, sweetie, because Nazir protected you. Nazir is dead now. Sim defeated him, saw him reduced to ash. Sim wants your sword, with it your dark power. So I don't know, there's no editor's note here, but I know that didn't happen in New Mutants, so maybe it's happening in X Factor? I mean, the titles are being pretty closely written. It'll be Sim's pleasure to take it from you, and then to take your life. Which, now that I say that, so Claremont wrote a third of Inferno, and then Louise did 2/3 of the main story? New Mutants is hers, X Factor is hers, and X-Men's his. Huh, I guess I just never really thought of it before. Though I'm sure they all, the two of them sat in a conference room and just chatted it out. But there's enough been commented about how different their Madeline Pryors are, so where she writes her as a villain and he writes her as a woman scorn. But I don't own any X Factor issues of it, so I guess from the podcast's point of view, it's a 50-50 split with a mysterious third thing happening. Nashir's not dead, and he no longer protects me. He has abandoned me. He knows I can access the dark power that will destroy you utterly. He hopes you will force me to that choice, and you know, Sim, that tempts me. It really does. And there's a great panel, up close on her helmet, as her eyes are gleaming red. While not far away, just off Times Square, is a church, a haven for a group of injured mutants. So everyone's worried about Illyana. The exterminators reference their own adventures 1 through 4, and they're just looking for Illyana. And they're all flying on the back of Warlock, unless you're Cannonball, and he's able to just fly on his own. And as they're looking for their lost friend, the city's literally coming after them as roads get ripped up, buildings start collapsing around them. Meanwhile, through twisted Manhattan streets strides an upright man. He knows these demons, he's seen them before. His little sister was their mistress once in Limbo. But she escaped, left Limbo and its nightmare world behind her. So where is she now, he wonders? And what is Limbo doing here? As we see Colossus making his way, and because he's so pure of heart, he's not being affected by Limbo's presence in New York. Which, alright, I guess of the X-Men, he's the purest of heart. So he finds a demon and starts chokeholding it, demanding answers. They tease. Oh, he shows a picture of his sister, which I think is insulting because she's clearly a 6-year-old in these pictures, and it's not current 15-year-old Illyana, where it's really, you couldn't take a picture of her? You don't carry that around with you? No wonder she's always hiding her dark side from him. But also, she's under the impression he's dead, so no, he's still in the wrong. I don't know, I try to new drink it, but no, he's still in the wrong. Oh, one of these pages, corner of my comics is folded up a little. Oh, folded up and then also extended. That's weird. Can it be in very fine edition when it's a new comic? I should try to take a picture of it so I can show it, because otherwise it's not going to make any sense. Oh, no, these two pages are combined together. How did that happen? They're literally... well, I must have skipped these pages. I didn't even notice this until right now. I gotta take a picture of this once we're done recording. And you can find that picture on Twitter and Instagram at SNFWM. Feel free to follow the blog. Well, you can follow the blog at shadowandflameofmagic.com, and it's a WordPress website, so you can go on the bottom and say follow. Or I guess click any article, and then maybe it's in the upper right. But you can follow the podcast at one of those channels, and now I get why it's a very fine. Though I don't know, I think this might make it a collector's edition. I mean, while on a rooftop high above the Hellfire Club's secret inner circle battles and invading demons, we have Magneto, Emma, Shaw, and Selene just fighting off demons. Magneto turns to his right and sees Colossus floating away and can't believe it's him, as the whole world saw them die. On television, or so the world believes. See X-Men 227, Bob. And then Nasir shows up to offer Magneto a deal that he can have the world. They just want Times Square. And then let me see if I can open this up. Mere blocks away, the New Mutants are still, and the Exterminators are looking around. They're talking. Oh yeah, they mention Magneto, which then the Exterminators are like, we know Magneto, he's a terrorist or a villain. And they're like, no, he's leading us now. And then that's right when they see Nasir is talking Magneto, and they look like they're having a friendly chat. So they're like, well, I guess we lost him. And so they choose to not pursue that. And they disappear. Meanwhile, while not far away, the demon and the Darkchild continue their fight when the demons drop Colossus in front of them. He has been knocked out. Present for you, Master. Your brother, Darkchild. Shall Sim treat him here as he did once in Limbo? Because Colossus, well, I guess all the X-Men die in Limbo, but he's one of the first to fall because, of course, he is. No, my brother was killed in Dallas. This can't be him. It can't. It is. Not what Sim has done. Oh, what have you done? Well, that's awkward because her word bubble is on the top of the page, and who will read top and then to the left? It's not a manga. What have you done to him? Not what Sim has done, but what Sim will do. No! And then she slashes him across the waist in a blinding light. Keep back! And then Colossus is slowly stirring. And then they all recognize the fighting below. And so they start heading down there. And then if you blink, you'll miss the Warlock. I don't know how you'll blink because it's not a movie. Like, it literally is a comic. Read it at your own pace. And then Warlock punches Sim and grabs Illyana. And they pretty much just make a quick jump to the left through a pawn shop, which might be the same pawn shop from earlier. It's hard to tell because wreckage is wreckage. And then Colossus, like an idiot, tackles Sim right through the same pawn shop. So it's like, why would you take him to where they rescued Illyana to? Oh, that's right. You're not a tactical genius. And so Colossus is all mad. He wants to know what Sim did to his sister. And he's like, your sister? Don't you recognize your little Russian snowflake? Illyana, no! Monster, what have you done to her? And poor Illyana has huddled down and try to hide her silver skin from him. No, I didn't want you to know. I was almost glad that you were dead, so you would never see me like this. I should be dead. I'm dead inside already. So she makes a stepping disc, and all the kids come with her, or teenagers, with attitude. And then they close up the portal, so Colossus and Sim are not with them. And no one's happy about being back in Limbo. While back on Earth, and Colossus is just extremely mad, so he's just punching Sim and all the demons as much as he can, like he's going to end this himself. And old dad hands. I'm turning pages. Oh yeah. While in limbo, cheering demons lift their dark child triumphantly. And Rain's like, Illyana, come back. It's a horrible Scottish accent. I can't. I see now how wrong I was to turn my back on limbo. Once I won, I had to rule it. In trying to escape, I created a power vacuum which Sim and others rushed to fill, with disastrous results for Earth. You didn't mean to do all this. It's not your fault. Can't you come back? Just be our Illyana, our friend. I wish. Oh, how I wish. Oh, she's on her throne. The demons took her to her throne. No, the time for that is past. If I evade my destiny, the Earth will be destroyed. This is where I belong. Besides, as a dark child, I'm special, powerful. I control the hordes of Limbo. Why would I even want to be an ordinary girl again? Meanwhile, and Klosh is just beating Sim, which is nice to see. As Sim deserves a beatdown. And at that church, Danny... it's Skids. I was like, who's not Dagger right now? But it's Skids and Rusty, which is cute that the couple stay together. Like, that makes sense. And Danny, so the greatest of the New Mutants, or at least top two. Usually I do something like, it's like, oh, my favorites. It's like top, like the best character of all time. Oh, I mean top three. And number one would be your pick. Number two is my pick. And then three is your pick again. As long as, because in an argument, give the person you're arguing with 2 points. And you can let 1 point in. And then you said the thing you wanted to say. Because usually someone's like, oh, Danny, no, she's not, no Illyana. And I'm like, well, sure. Right now we agree with both the top twos. And we can all agree that Magma is the 7th best member. Like, I feel like she's a solid 7, right? And so there's fight. Leech and Artie, I guess, we're also at the church. So who knows where WizKid is, though. But they're helping Danny out. Meanwhile, back in Limbo, see all of you the state of the earth, the state of my own power. My scrying glass is now restored, improved, so easy. Now that I've come to accept what I truly am, what I must be. And so she's seeing all the battles going on. Danny's fighting, Colossus is fighting. And the beginning and the end of everything, unless I'll do it. My whole existence, my whole life has led me to this moment. Which is great that we don't see her thought process. We're going to see her actions. Because, comics should be more about showing than telling. No, you can't. I won't let you. Rain, don't! Cannonball shouts. And so they're all running down a corridor. A corridor into just nothing but stepping disc. And Rain's talking about how much she regrets that she let child Illyana escape back in New Mutants 71 2 issues ago. And so she's committed to finding her. So they dip into one, like that looks like there's just ooze everywhere, which isn't great. Sunspot's asking her to stop because now they're going to get lost in Limbo, and that's even worse. They fall into a gray area where some demons are caught by surprise, and Richter's trying to fight them. And then Rain finds another stepping disc and sees Illyana mid-falling to another one. So they grab her and they fall into the other one. And then immediately, the demon child, I guess to distinguish the two, goes, "You went, I felt. No! You!" And poor Illyana is just scared. And it doesn't help that the Dark Child is completely glowing at this point, so it's not like she's seeing her future self. She's just seeing a glowing, angry-looking helmet, like, snapping at her. "You caused all this!" And with a whack, she backhands Illyana, child Illyana, and even though I've already established that's how Zone distinguished the two, and it's like, come on. Like, she's literally becoming the thing she hates the most. She's becoming Sim. "You should have died, like the others. But you fought to live to become what only I could become. And in the process die inside, a little bit at a time, until there is nothing left. Ignorant child, see," and she's just glowing now. The whole page is glowing. "See, know what you will be, what I am." And now she went, I guess she's always had the hoofs, but it used to be like, lady leg and then hoof foot, but now it's all hoof legs and everything. I am power. So she's dropped the armor. Oh yeah, which looks like a Demogoblin falling to the ground, but or I guess a Demogoblin looks like that. Uh, Page 33. And now she's full on Dark Child, but Bright Child, I guess. I should destroy you for what you've made of me. And Rain, like, jumps between the two. No, Illyana, no, that's Limbo's way, the way that trapped you here. If we save her, the innocent child you came from we might not save you and the world as well. Please, Illyana, this time you have a choice. A choice? Nasir told me that in Limbo there is no such thing as a right choice. But he is a demon, a master of deception, while perhaps you are right and we can beat him at his own game. And she's still glowing. The only choice is to remove the choice. To negate my presence in Limbo as if I had never existed here at all. Self-friend, Illyana, Darkchild, what are you doing? Destiny's prophecy was what I must learn. How can I learn? I am the Darkchild, shut away from life, always on the outside looking in. But can I learn? Have I? Is this the answer? We're back on Earth, back in time. They're some new mutants are talking. I'm not sure which one. And so the stepping disc has brought them back. An eldritch pillar of fire sweeps the earth, hurls the demons who contaminate it back to Limbo where they belong. Now the Darkchild, the burning mote in the eye of the storm, hurls her sword, fashioned from the darkness, most powerful piece of her soul. So the soul sword goes straight up in the air, into the heart of darkness, and becomes in truth a child of blinding light that she's been already this whole time. No, Sam, come quick. It's the wee babe, Illyana. I've lost her. So once again, poor 6-year-old Illyana is in another stepping disc and with someone's hand going through it, hoping they can find her. And not far away. You hear that? You hear that wind, Sim says. And Clash is like, what is? And you just see Sim like go, wee! as he's being swept up. While at the church, Danny's being helped up by Artie and Gossamer. Gossamer was at the church, so that's fun. And so they see that their demons they were fighting get swept away, so they're like, I guess we followed that. And poor Darkchild is just the armor. And Rain's like, her armor crushed, broken. Illyana. And Cannonball's crying. My sister, my little snowflake. She wasn't the Darkchild at the end. She was an angel, a being of light, burning so bright we could hardly stand to look at her. She sacrificed herself and saved the whole world. And all the time she was a wee child too. I held her in my arms so tightly while the light child burned. Oh, that's fun, that. Oh, I went bright child. Dang it, I was so close. And then I couldn't feel her in my arms anymore. And then Danny's just hugging her now. Oh, Danny, I must have let her go of her. Somehow I lost her. The smoke cleared, and there was her charred armor, that empty shell. Peter Nikovich Voss. From the armor. Peter Nikovich Voss? Help me. Illyana, wait, don't move. Oh, yeah. So this was the image I was going to go with. I have you free. Peter! And it's 6-year-old Illyana inside the armor. So somehow she went through a disc and then went into the empty shell. It just works. And Danny's pulling Rain's attention to that. Illyana? And then 6-year-old Illyana grabs Rain, who is the only face she would recognize, especially a friendly one. And then to answer any continuity issues, Sam says, she says she was empty inside, but she was wrong. I don't know what a Kentuckian accent sounds like. The innocent kid inside was there all along, waiting to get out. And Richter says, but wasn't she saved her younger self? Does this mean the Illyana you knew, the teenage Illyana, never existed? No, that's impossible. We knew her. We remember her. Maybe she would never know what it means, except because of her sacrifice, Earth has been saved. And your life will stretch before you like a golden path filled with the promise of all that's wonderful. And Reigns is crying. And the issue ends, not on a high note, but on a setup, as Nasir has been witnessing the whole thing. And so it ends, and here on Earth, all is again as it was meant to be, or so they think. The transport disk is closed, my demon servant swept away. Sim, my cruelest rival, defeated and removed from play. My beautiful dark child, you should have trusted me, and now you are lost, reduced in stature, powerless, vulnerable, destroyed. The inevitable result when humans meddle in the affairs of demons. Demons, on the other hand, have had glowing success in manipulating humanity throughout history. As he stares at the Empire State Building, the chasm between Earth and Limbo yawns wide. And this is not the Ben Reilly chasm. He's just talking about chasms in general. Such a weird name for Ben Reilly. How the great has fallen. Stretching an impossible distance, but I will build a bridge on the souls of the innocent and the lost. Before the sun rises, Earth and Limbo will be mine. As we see baby Nathan and the Goblin Queen in orbs. The battle for the Earth has just begun. Inferno concludes in X-Men 242 and X-Factor 38. Check it out. Next, do the Exterminators really have the right stuff to join the New Mutants? Find out next issue if there is a next issue. Which there should be, as that's where the Exterminators will find out if they have the right stuff. And that concludes the New Mutants portion of Inferno that we'll be covering here. But we are not jumping into Uncanny X-Men 242 just yet. We are going to do Excalibur 6 and 7. I mean, it'd be two different issues, but we're just going to go. We're going to see what Kitty Pryde's up to and her pals at the Excalibur. So thank you everyone for listening. I'm not sure. So that'd be next Thursday's episode. We'll figure out. Well, no. As far as I know, Kitty wasn't, or Magic wasn't, or Lockheed wasn't in any of this week's comics. Invincible Iron Man was pretty legit, though. They honeymoon in Hawaii. And hijinks ensues. But pretty good issue. Emma's getting used to her Hazel form. And so, let's see, I feel like I did some plugging earlier already. But, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Skies at Jacko SIII. And once again, please go to Instagram and Twitter to follow SNFWM. And it's all spelled out for the picture of Illyana in the armor. And then also this crazy page meld. As I had to think of how I'm going to take that picture. But those will be out there for your enjoyment. So thank you everyone for listening. And if you'll subscribe and tell a friend and rate and review, that will really help the podcast grow. And we hit 500 views. So thank you everyone who's listened and re-listened and kept listening. Really appreciate it. And until next time, else time. Bye.